Welcome back everyone to another episode of Jurassic World Evolution 2 with me, Dr. Munchkin. If you've been following along, last time we started the Jurassic Park The Lost World Jurassic Challenge, and that is to build this Jurassic Park San Diego. Unfortunately, as a disclaimer for this video, my little Munchkin got into the office, and he messed with the mic and muted it. So although there's game audio in this entire video, there's no me. So we're doing a voiceover, and hopefully this works. So we're going to try to narrate everything. Basically what I'm talking about here is what I'm going to do with Rexy and sleeping Rexy. And the main idea with Rexy is we're going to make Rexy center stage. We don't know if this amphitheater thing, our hypothesis, let's say, is that it won't break out because, as we just saw there, it's intelligent. And what that means is, as we're showing, this red area, if there's guests in that area, he will try to break through that fence and go eat those guests. Unfortunately, in this particular playthrough, we don't have the necessary security level on the fencing to be able to contain him, or her, rather. She requires a rating of 6, which is only available via the electric fences in the Biosyn DLC. And this particular thing, we can only get up to level 5. So this is where I'm talking about moving it over here into the amphitheater and testing our hypothesis and making, Rexy center stage as she should be. Go through here and demolish this because we definitely want to make sure that we have, although slightly less required, we will use the level 5 fences. And this is where we notice, hey, we have the new gate from the 30th anniversary DLC of Jurassic Park. So this is the kind of original gate, and we are going to be putting one of them in there, and this is me talking about all that. They added a bunch of other decorations as well. I'm not very large on the decorative components, as other streamers are. For instance, Evolution Square, she does a very good job of showing and decorating and building magnificent parks. I'm more of a person that's in for the logistics. I definitely want to deal with the mechanics, and that's also why when City Skylines 2 comes out, we're going to be playing that, because I like the sim builders and managing everything. But we're just kind of looking around, making sure everything is good and everyone is all right. And now we're going to start the fence building. So I believe that pylon is going to get in our way. Or not. Okay, so we're just going to speed up through this. So now that the Rexy's pen is built, we're adding in that new gate. I'm going to look at it and see it's kind of that nice double door. So when the vehicle approaches, and we'll see this a little bit later, both of those doors open up. It is very nice looking. I do like all the additions that they did. Oh, I could have added it into this pen, but I didn't. They added the infamous log from the first, where the T-Rex is chasing the Gallimimus across the field, and Dr. Grant and the kids are there, and they hide behind this log, and so it's this infamous log. Or I guess I could have also, they added the big pile of dinosaur poop. So we could have added that into one of these pens. But we researched the viewing platform. We're going to need that because the visibility, we're just checking our power right there. Visibility for the intelligent dinosaurs requires distance from afar. We're going to go ahead and get large power. We're running into a little bit of a power situation right now. We're a little underpowered, but we have plenty of money, and we're making over $300,000 a minute. So that's going to take about 2 minutes worth of in-game time for us to set up a new power station. This is where I'm contemplating what I want to research. Maybe a zip line. And here we're getting the Camarasaurus.
Asset
So this is
in
another
transit.
long neck that we got in. Now, unfortunately, he is not compatible, or rather they are not compatible, with the other sauropods that I have. That's why they're getting their own
Confirming asset
unique
delivery.
pen. And so, now what I need to do, obviously, is, well, one, add a gate, because there is no gate for these guys. So they can't be accessed, unfortunately. So I'm going, where am I putting it? Where am I putting it? Decisions! It's always difficult sometimes. We're going to go ahead and add in these service points, essentially, for the ranger teams and the medical teams to be able to take care of these dinosaurs. And once Rexy's pen's built, we'll go ahead and move him over, or rather her. So now we've set up the gate, and they need a bit larger area, but they have good open space. Ideally, what they need is foliage for food. So we're going to go ahead and add their food in. We're just checking, and this is me complaining how there's no one type of food for them. There's no combination. We got to put these two different types in there, which is alright, but these particular ones, because they have such a diverse food population, you can see here it's like, oh, we get tall fruit, we get tall leaf, we get the ground nut, tons of ground nut. So the Ankylosaurus and others like him, they generally like to eat the ground nut, and so they would play well with them. Incoming transmission.
Hey, I just
This is
checked,
where we're getting
and there's a
extremely
new
lucky.
objective went off.
So we're like, what did we
I hope
get?
you'll take it.
Research the large power station. So that 2 million is now down to 1.4 because we're going to get the 600 for completing that contract. Sometimes it just works out. So what we need to do is, because we're kind of stretching thin, or pretty thin, our ability to take care of these dinosaurs, we're going to go ahead and build another medical facility and a research facility. Sorry, not research, a response facility to handle this kind of lower area of the park. And we're just setting up some pathing here, and ta-da. So now we want to chew up urgent message, dinosaur shipment. What do we want? Well, we're going to go with the carnivore. This is where I'm flipping back and forth. I'm like, what do I want? I don't even know. But we want the carnivore because generally they're going to be a higher rating. And we kind of already have a pen set up for them, or kind of. And ta-da! We've completed the assignment. So we've reached 5 stars in 50 minutes, and technically the challenge is done. But I was not satisfied with that. Not in the least bit. We hadn't even gotten all the dinosaurs. I think we were at 9 out of the 12 for the challenge. So you can see that the challenge itself, this particular one, if you want to try it yourself, is not that challenging. As long as you are able to make the dinosaurs happy, deal with the disease, and bring in all the different dinosaurs, you'll have more than enough.
Wow. That was outstanding work.
Ron
5 stars is not an easy rating to
are.
attain. You should be proud of yourself.
But more urgent messages and site manager. Oh no, we have the money, so we're going to hire a temporary manager, obviously. That's very expensive for a temporary manager. So now the question is, we got dinosaurs coming in about 2 minutes. We've only received 10 out of the 12. We're now going to transport Rexy in because Rexy now has the pen set up and should have all the amenities with the sand and the food.
I know you're
There's
juggling quite a bit.
For the large power station,
managing the
which
park
is already
and the dinosaurs is pretty much a full-time gig.
Online.
So
The
fact you were able to crush this objective is objectively amazing.
As well, more power upgrades, in particular the increased power output, as I'm working towards here. And we're like, oh no, that guy's disgruntled. So we're going to have to rest Cooper, which is fine. So we're going to go over here, and Cooper, you get rested.
Commencing asset transit.
Alrighty, so now we're checking out one of the Camarasaurus has a disease, and it's bracken poisoning. Which, if you're not familiar with the game, bracken poisoning occurs. It is a disease you need to get to kind of 100% the game as well for the database. But what it is related to is that their environmental needs aren't met, and sometimes that can be very annoying because the welfare of the dinosaurs plays into the guest comfort. And so by having bracken poisoning, obviously their welfare is not good, and they're not happy. So what we're doing right now is doing a quick little expansion to go ahead and meet the needs. It can devolve into them getting very sick, which is not a good
Asset
thing.
has been delivered.
But Rexy, we're checking on her. She can't really see the guests, and so she's fine. But now we're getting these guys, and we're like,
asset.
okay, check on Rexy again. But then we had a thought. And our thought was, well, these guys are coming in. Their security rating's 5, so even if they were intelligent, which I don't believe they're going to be, but we said that about Rexy. Rexy was not listed as intelligent when it was between her and the Velociraptors. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring these guys in, but we didn't do it fast enough. So now they're landing, but the fences aren't built. And part of the mechanic of Jurassic World Evolution 2 is that if you're going to upgrade your fences, you can actually remove some. And that's a particular challenge with any sort of dinosaur, because once you remove it, there'll be a threat to the guests. As you see at the top there, those little claw marks. That means they're a threat, and that will cause guests to panic, and your rating to go down.
Delivery has been completed.
In previous kind of playthroughs where I was testing things, that tanked my park because there was too much of a guest threat, and I couldn't make enough money. But the dinosaurs, because of the storm, they were breaking out, and I wanted to upgrade the fencing. So one of the best ways to do that is during a storm, if you have ample amounts of money, you can go ahead and upgrade during that. Now, this is where I'm basically going, hey, alright, we fixed it, you got enough food, and you got enough open space, so they'll be fine. These guys are going to be fine as well. We need to double check their requirements, and I believe that was a wrong button click. They want meat. So we're just going to put a meat eater in there and remove the prey. Because they don't need that, and we don't need 500 goats in there. Another message, Dinosaur shipment, and we're like, oh, the Suchiomimus. I don't know why, but I really like the Suchiomimus, and we're going to build them a massive pen over here. So obviously level 5 rating, hook it up through the power system. Now these guys, they don't necessarily need this much room. I just kind of built an oversized pen. I have the money, and this is the last dinosaur, so I was like, whatever. But their big thing that they require is water. So they want to have fish to eat, and unfortunately, the game mechanics, the way they work, is that you cannot have the fish to put in there, as we're about to find out. Nope, maybe not. We're just going to put a Ranger Team Axis, which I don't even have. Ooh, man, that one is pretty full. Yeah, whatever. Oh, I was goofing up. Am I going to select the right one? I don't remember. I'm checking all the distances. I'm like, which one do I want? We'll do that one. That wasn't the wise move. The one guy had 3 orders, so technically, although he said 4, he was really only 1. But we're going to add in this new fence again, and we're going to add it right over here so that the ranger and the medical team have direct access to the Suchiomimus, and then we go ahead and add some viewing galleries. Now this is also preemptive as well. I don't believe they were going to be intelligent, but that's not to say they weren't. So I could have had to pivot really hard at this point, although we completed the challenge, right? It's like, kind of need to be smarter about building things in the future. Now, right here, I wanted to fit that in there, and so I connected it up like that. And then we're checking out, and we're like, oh, look, we have all the, some of the new roading. So we're going to just navigate this around that hotel, like so, and just connect this directly like that. Ta-da! And they will have power eventually. So these guys are being woken up, which will be fine. we're looking for more research. And this is where I'm looking at the fish, and that I can't have them until I get a Suchiomimus in. So we're looking at the viewing, and I'm going, oh no, the T-Rex cannot be viewed. And technically, he only has a little bit of road that he's covering where guests would be. But again, I'm pretty sure he cannot break out of this particular amphitheater. So what we're going to be doing here is, well, we are going to build this viewing platform. Boom. And now we need to try to wiggle that the road through here. But this is going to allow us to view the T-Rex from a distance. So anytime you have this intelligent trait, which is only in the challenges. So far it's been in Jurassic Park, and now the Lost World challenge, you need to view them from afar so they don't have interactions with the guests, and that's perfectly fine. Here I'm going, oh my gosh, what have I done? The amenities are tanking, unfortunately. And so I'm going to go to amenities, and I'm going to be like, you know what? One way to help resolve this is obviously to get larger amenities. I got 2 more disgruntled employees that I need to rest. So we're going to go ahead and rest them immediately, like that. Alright, so now we're kind of just waiting around, and we're kind of planning out where we want to put those amenities. A lot of this is very fast-paced in the sense that you're constantly wanting to try to do something in these challenges. I know we've completed it, but this is just as a kind of personal note of the gameplay. When you're doing the Jurassic challenges for the achievements or just for fun to really challenge yourself, you need to constantly try to be doing something, building something, looking at what's going wrong with the park. Are the amenities good? Because we have found in a couple of our playthroughs that the amenities are a huge part of the guest interaction. They have the ability to push you over that 5-star rating, as we found. I think it was the last kind of that mountainous one. I can't remember. I think it was Southwest USA. But yeah, we put the amenities in, and boom, we got it. So now we just unlocked level 3 amenities. Rexy is going to attack this Jeep. Rexy does not like the Jeep. Rexy smash. Anyways, large amenities, we're like, okay, I can pop one right there, check, and right, we're gonna have to delete that. Boom. So now that it's delete, we can go ahead and add in that amenity, and so we're gonna rework the power. Boom. And I want the large substations, which is what we have. I'm like, I can't fit this in here. What's going on? I'm like, darn it. This is annoying. So I'm going to put one over here. Eventually. There we go. It's kind of like, where do I want to place this? I'm going to put one over there, too, to kind of cover everything. Power, standalone power is a huge thing that you definitely want to get online early for your park. The gas, micromanaging all the gas stations is not ideal. This is where I'm actually configuring these, and I was trying to be clever, and because the Suchiomimus is going in there and they eat fish, I was trying to make it more fish-themed for them while making sure all the amenities were satisfied. And we're going to do table seating and all those things. And I think we add the ice cream parlor? Ice cream machine. Alright. Just so the kids can be happy. You know, it is a kid-friendly park. And this, we're like, oh, we gotta change things. That's one thing I don't necessarily like. Well, it's not that I don't like it, it's more of a nuanced thing. You can hold control, and when you're placing a building, it'll allow you to just place multiple of them. So placing emergency shelters to fill out your coverage, or restrooms to fill out that coverage. Very, very nice. Or if you're even just building hotels or some other building like viewing platforms. But for amenities, because they have the different levels, I'll place the 3 buildings real fast, but then I gotta go reconfigure everything. And finally the Suchiomimus is coming in. So this is going to be the last dinosaur, and now we have the Pisiavore feeder. And we need to get that online ASAP, but I'm like, oh no, I do not have enough. And even if I look at all my welfare, there's no way I get to 9. So this is where we're going, alright, time to bite the bullet. People, you're getting fired. Oh, incoming transmission. This is just showing we still have a 5-star park, and we're making nearly 500,000 a minute, and we're going to work on improving the coverage, because that's what we're working on anyways. And we're looking at finishing out the amenities, and we're going like, where can I put stuff? What's going on? Can I put it there? Yes, I can. Pretty sure I'm able to do this. I think I delete the pylons. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I see it. I see that it's only obstructed by pylons, and I can just do. I can't directly connect it to the road, but I can do a little offset like this, and then we can just manually connect it up. It's not the end of the world. Come on, click. Boom. Now we just need to reconnect the power because that's not going to be happy. And like so. Alright, so that's going to be powered.
Need somebody for this next objective. Hopefully, that somebody is you.
We need to go to shopping so we can get that online. And we're like, I'm by the Camarasaurus, so let's do the playsets because they have a sauropod. This had just started being, you know, oh, what do I want to do? We're adding just all the racks, so there's a lot more capacity for this particular store. That helps overall to make sure that guests can be satisfied over here. And there's our contract coverage. You are a real
asset to this team, and work like this is a big reason why.
We lost some of our power connection, so we're just going to reconnect that like that. Boom, everything is powered. So everything is going well, and we have the new guys in there, but I'm going, I seem to have forgotten something. What have I forgotten? I have forgotten these guys. But I need a new staff center is what I've decided. In order to get new scientists to handle this extra load. So we're going to just pop that down right there. Hook her up like that. I know we got giant unmatched roads, but that's fine. And that's got everything covered, which is perfect. They're fighting for dominance, and obviously they're missing fish. So that's done. So now I can go to my staff, and this is where I'm going to really get my upgraded staff. So it's like, oh, welfare specialist. That's amazing. But let's check the others just to see what we have. So like we have a positive influence that's really good, cheaper research that's really good as well. And so I'm going to go start removing some of my staff that are kind of lower level or not as good as what we're seeing here because we have the money. And you can see how expensive these guys are for an initial cost. That guy was like over $1 million for us to buy, and he was really expensive. You want to get someone cheap like the first guy. He's only 16,000, right? So you're like, oh my gosh, that's really not that much. But now we have plenty, and we're gonna get it done in record time here. And once that's complete, we can add the fish in. They are only thirsty and fussy, so they do not have that intelligent trait. It does not appear, or at least it's not indicated on that particular one. Now, it will show, because in the Jurassic Park, we had some velociraptors that were intelligent, others were not. The other ones that are trying to break out will actually have a little light bulb over their head, like, oh, I have an idea. I can break out of here. It's kind of interesting. I know the end of the Jurassic Park one was kind of subpar because I recorded the wrong screen and I felt really, really bad about it. But it was kind of cool that they were trying to break out of the fencing because they could see the guests. But the security rating on the fence was matching their need. So I was like, oh, look at that. So this is where I'm going. Our amenity coverage is garbage. But I had an idea, and I didn't try this in the original playthrough, because you can see it doesn't want to connect to the main thoroughfare because of the kind of curvature, I guess. But if you slightly offset it just a little bit, you can actually fit them all in here. And this is actually a really good idea, because this is central to your park, and so you can really try to get a lot of amenities in here. Now they're only small, so it's not like, amazing, but why not, right? And so this one I'm trying to finagle as much over as I possibly can to see if I can fit another one right next to it, and I think that's as close as I'm going to get, and I am able to squeeze that one right there. So now it's like I need to hook the roads up to all of them just to make sure that, oh yeah, we can use them. And I believe we have a power situation going on. As we see there, the one is not covered by this small generator, and I do fix that eventually. Don't remember when I do so. Maybe it's right now. Oh, and we're just going to be like, you know what? I can't connect it because it's obstructed by the other one that I'm going to get rid of. And ta-da! So that'll be fixed. And I believe Rexy's fine. You don't want to unpower the T-Rex facility. Just in case. They are intelligent. I don't know, I haven't tried that yet. That might be a good thought, is trying to disable the power on an intelligent thing and see if they notice it. Because in the original Jurassic Park, if you remember, the raptors were testing the fence for weaknesses. So here I'm just going to go through and put in all of the amenity upgrades. Now, because we have the large amenities researched, we actually have the ability to put the really, really good interior modules in. And I'm going, oh, what do I want? T-shirts, because it's right next to the T-Rex. Again, I'm being quite happy about what I'm doing. I believe I'm going to have to maybe... Oh, nope. I'm able to cover it. So we're going to add it in info center. There we go. All those guys are doing good. And we're talking about maybe putting some more amenities up there to try to cover. And I believe we ultimately do. And so I look here and I'm going, okay, more things are needed. I'm probably not going to be able to do certain things. Gift stand, why not? Nope, skeletal display, we'll go with that. Water feature, doing that one instead. And then, we still do the skeletal display. So that one's covered. We're still, because we're paused, that's why that's not happy. And the issue with this one is we kind of built ourselves into a little hole. Put some candy on there, why not, for the kids. We kind of built a little too tight, and so the amenities, another real big reason why you want to look at your amenities is if it's not satisfied, you're not going to get as many guests, and you're not going to make as much money. So now I'm just kind of loading this up so it gets powered, so when I look at it to configure it, it tells me what it wants. Oh, but we got the fish unlocked first, so we're going to go add those, so these guys will be happy, and they are content. Perfect. They have more than enough fish, plenty of open space, sand, and water. So they're happy and they're being viewed. So management view, if I start to look at stuff, food coverage is bad, drink coverage is bad, shopping coverage is amazing. Yeah, so I think we're gonna make that a drink. But this is what I was saying, is that like I'm so tight. Oh, did I change it to food? I guess food it is. And I think I leave it as burgers and fries. Skeletal display, get some things up. Water feature. Again, you start to get really, really high ability to do stuff. And what I'm going to end up doing is kind of constructing over here a set of medium amenities in order to try to offset the need. Because right now it's more on the bottom left side of the park, if you're looking at the arrival point that has all the amenities. And so we're going to try to build some stuff up here to try to cover the rest of the park. And this is where I'm looking like, can I squeeze in a small amenity anywhere? And it's like, I don't think so. What am I going to do? There's like nowhere I can go. So this is another important point and tip, is not to build so tight. You want to leave yourself open for room for maybe a few small amenities here and there. Definitely try to plan out when you're building a new area, like this is going to be the amenities, or have enough amenities to cover people. The large one is really good for the space that you can get, and it unlocks the really strong modules to be able to handle the guest satisfaction near instantaneously. So this is where I'm looking to just move this over to the side. So I'm going to pop it right there, get as close as possible, so now I can build a new road. And just kind of go straight back like this. And we're going to pop in those medium amenities. So we're just going to go 1, 2, and this is where I'm holding that control to place them, but they're all going to be drinks, because that's what was initially selected. I'm like, what do I want? Yogurt drinks. Yogurt drinks are fun. Get the squeezy yogurts for the kids. They're also fairly healthy, but we're by the herbivores, so why not? And then I'm like, you know what? Crepes are also good. Or, you know what's better than crepes? It's churros. A hot, fresh churro is amazing. Once they cool down, though, they kind of get a little crusty. They're not as good, but a fresh churro. And we put a play area there for the kids, too. So, food coverage is at 99. Drink coverage is at 94. And do I check shopping? I don't remember. But we do see that we have an issue over here. Boop. So we're going to have them check that. And I just realized that I goofed up with the placement of who's assigned, because there's not a access fence over there, so they're gonna have to drive all the way around, which is that was a misclick again. That was a problem. So now I'm gonna look at the amenities. They're popping up. Shopping's at 100, food's nearly at 100, but here I'm noticing all the amenities could perform better. So guests will be unsatisfied, which lowers how much you're, can spend. So I'm just looking here and I'm going, okay, it's mainly the entertainment guests that are not happy. So I'm going, well, how do I fix that? Well, I can add in fossil displays and other things. So you can see under the configuration there, the satisfaction level. So 48% are entertainment, and I want to make sure that they are good. This is something you want to periodically check, because when you build a park and you build your amenities for the first time, you have a certain level, but as you increase the park, it might change. Say you add in a bunch of zip lines or a tour, let's say, for the guests. That brings in more adventurous type, which is kind of the oranges red version. And so that, I'm looking for, I can make that books. And that covers that. So my original plans have gone out the window for what I wanted down there. But what I was getting at was things change over time. Sometimes if you just add so much of the high modules, especially on a large one, you're never going to have an issue. You can pretty much max everything out and no one will ever complain. That's still being worked on because things are paused. And now I'm coming over here and just adding some more, an aquarium in addition to that water feature. Those are all satisfied. And then I think I'm like, oh, don't I have some medium amenity ones? Or I'm checking and I see I have a few more. Coverage is still really high, dropping off a little bit. I think it's because I got rid of some of the shelving. you can see, I have tons of amenities. It's mainly the small ones. I'm just trying to find that last one to fix. Clicking around. So we come over here and we go, oh, we found them. And so now the hookworms are taken care of, as you see in the upper right hand corner. That's another big thing, is that when you start a park, one of the biggest things you want to get set up fairly quickly is medical. Especially if you're on a challenge map that has a high disease risk. Medical is going to be your friend. And what I tend to do, they're not terribly expensive, normally around 100,000, which is kind of chump change when you're playing this game. Like really hard. You'll generally be making a lot more than that or have a lot more in the bank. And 100,000, you can buy some of the medical treatments. And I will buy the medical treatments before the disease comes. So that way it's like medical team just goes out, instantly covers things. So this is where I'm starting to notice, hey, restroom coverage is weak, and so is my accommodation rating. So I'm going to be like, let's build a restroom, see where it's weak. I'm like, I can't fit it there. Darn it. It's at 98%, it's not the end of the world. I do ultimately fix that though, and you'll see why a bit later. Oh, Suchiomimus are attacking the Jeep over there on the left. Yeah, let's just build it inside the pen. What a novel idea. I'm just checking where I could place this thing, and I can't really place it anywhere, and I don't really want guests. If I placed it there, I'm pretty sure guests would start using this pathing, and I don't want to deal with that. So next we're going to add a hotel, and I'm just going to go add it back here. We'll be able to see the Stegosauruses as well as the other guys, and this also helps us with our coverage. Boop. And I believe they need power back there, so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to a large substation. Squeeze you in there. Ta-da! And delete that. Hook you up like so. So once that's built, this will be built. Accommodation will be taken care of, especially because they have good viewing coverage. He's at 97%. We're kind of viewing the expansive park that we've made, which is very nice. I like the foliage and everything else that's going on. And we did have room to expand. That's the other thing with this map. It is very large. We could have expanded all the way out to the right. Profits have dropped to about 400k, and the reason is we hired the new scientists and we built all the amenities. Our upkeep increased.
Take a look at this objective and let me know if you're up for the challenge.
Did I choose research? Research, oh yeah, I did. That's the other thing. Sometimes when you get these things for contracts, you definitely want to check them. The research one is generally one of the best, because if we look here, they're going to give me 800,000 for that particular contract. I'm like, where is this thing? Right? And I look and I look and I look. Oh, there it is. So they're going to give me 800,000 and it's only 500,000, and I could do cheaper research because I have that particular individual. So it's only 350,000. So I'm making $450,000 profit just by researching that. So we're going to look here and increase the output. So now this guy's producing up to 180, which means if I look at this one, I don't need this power station anymore. So I can remove that, remove the whole power station, and we'll reconnect everything back up. And it's not going to be happy because the grid's not complete. So we gotta go like that. That was an isolated grid. Yeah, I think they're not... Yeah, I didn't connect them all the way around each other, which is fun. And so I'm also building another large power station over here, because this is kind of a... Or no, I'm not. I think I'm just leaving it like that. Yeah, we have plenty of power, so it's not necessarily an issue. But I remember, yes, restroom, we can place it in there now. So, boop, ta-da. So now we're going to have 100% of restroom coverage and shelter and everything else. Again, our food rating, everything else is not great.
We can consider this objective done.
But we got $830,000, so it's actually more than I was even saying. So this is us going, okay, well, we can kind of make a nice little area right over here, potentially. And this is just going to be more amenities. I'm wondering, can I do the large amenities? I can. I'm going to remove that pylon. Like so, and we'll just hook it back up. But yeah, you can see I backed myself into a corner a little bit, and then this is where we're going to configure all this stuff and hopefully get all of that upgraded to really strong. I don't know. Again, keeping with the theme, the luxury guest, so they're loving it. And a little bit of a fossil display. We'll just change it to shopping. Although shopping's amazing, we can see there is some guest demand. Add that extra shelving, the dense racks. Make sure it looks like it's really well stocked. And let's do designer goods. So that should be really good. And we're going to look at adding a zip line in here. And I had a thought. And my thought is to research the logs there. And the reason I want to do that is this intelligence trait, I've been normally viewing things from afar, right? With that viewing platform you see on the left there. This log feature that they added is something that they have the ability to, looking at a medication here, getting the hookworm, like I said, want to make sure we get those online. But we want to make sure that we don't have them eat the guests, and I'm thinking because this is placed in the middle of our exhibit, it doesn't trigger that, and so we're going to test that, and I believe that is the case. We're going to look at this zip line, and we want to be like, hey, where do we want to add it? That's the one I wanted. I grabbed the viewing platform accidentally before, so just do one of these. C's contracted. Check that out in a hot sec, and we can just pop you somewhere. I'm looking for a place, and I realized it can snap to the fence. I didn't realize that. I should have realized that because I've done it in previous playthroughs. So this is going to be like a short little zip line that's kind of out of the way. Boom and a boom. And we'll hook this guy up like that. Ta-da! And so once that's built, that'll all be hooked up. One of the reasons why you want to get upgrades for these guys is one, that you can have auto fill all of the food and the fuel, so it removes all the micromanaging. It's a really late game one, and I think it's like 2 million. This guy, I have no idea how this Compy got out. This has happened a couple times in a couple different playthroughs, like the fencing's up, but somehow the dinosaurs glitch through them, and I have no idea why. Now, another glitch occurs as well, where the guests are still going to be panicking, but right there, the Compy stops moving, and the chopper just keeps trying to shoot them, and I don't know why. And it's like, what's going on? And so I'm confused. I'm like going, do I reload? Do I not reload? We're already in the middle of the video. We've kind of concluded the video at this point, if you really think about it. And it's a thing. But yeah, there's a few glitches still in this game, and they're fun. But we're going to test this theory now that I've come up with, the viewing log. In particular, there's this one. It gives you a very wide area. The actual log, as you saw in the Jurassic World, it's nice, but it kind of has this bi-directional V, almost like an hourglass, where this is more circular. And so we can place this in there, and it connects right to the road. And it seems that it works. So Rexy is perfectly fine with this. And we can actually show the view, and we can look at Rexy if we really wanted to. There's another one that you can actually raise and lower. And so this is where I'm like, this is still going on? What's going on? That's bizarre. Well, we're paused for one. And it's the guests are not happy because of the safety rating. This is why you don't want dinosaurs glitching out. They feel very threatened because that Compy will murder them. So I'm here. What's going on with you? I think I hear a storm as well. So we're going to do direct control, which then the Compy starts moving again, which is great. So I'm going to do back out because we need to. I need to not be watching this. I need to back out. There we go, and open all the shelters, which will also help with the safety rating. That Compy's finally down, so we can put them back inside. So we're getting power outages because the large power station is having a storm issue. The breakages you see at the top, those are due to surface winds. For this particular one, there are, I need an operational science center is the issue. I don't have power to it. The surface winds, they're not an issue, but you can get with other storms, hypothermia with colds, or actually broken bones, which are very bad. So we're going to get this on to get the double. That's going to allow us to have extra output on, and then we're also going to get storm defense. And this is just me checking the dinosaurs, making sure they just have surface winds that can be treated. You always want to double check. It won't go away, if you don't, and you'll see it at the top of your screen. But it's just something you want to be cognizant of to make sure your dinosaurs are good. Storms are very, very challenging at times, especially with this Jurassic difficulty. It really knocks the rating of your park down, and some of them last for an extremely long time. So here I could be like, oh, I want storm defense. Well, I can't have that yet, but I can research it. Ta-da! And so that way done lickety split, and we'll upgrade all that. But storms can destroy a park if you don't have enough money in reserves. There's been plenty of times I've got into negative over 100,000 a minute, and this storm is going to last, say, 5 minutes. I didn't have enough, and you go in the red, and then you have this issue where the game starts to time out going, you need to be positive within X amount of time, and like sometimes you can't do it. This is just adding the storm defense. It's a very nice upgrade. This particular map didn't really have a lot of storms. I think there was like 2 total that I had. This is us trying to view Rexy in her natural environment, or rather her pen. She looks kind of cool. Yeah, you can highlight and toggle things, but it helps prevent and save you a bunch of money with the storm defense. I generally do it on, say, hatcheries and the power station, because losing power in a storm can be very bad, because you won't have all your services up, and especially it is an issue with the response facilities will require manual correction to go fix stuff, which becomes driving simulator, which is not great. Oh no, we finally got rabies in the park. Some of them, most of the diseases, they require you to do some form of task to correct or get the ability to research it. So now that we have taken the picture, we can now research rabies. The biggest one that I don't like is the avian flu. That one, it wrecked the original Chaos Theory playthrough of San Diego. That was horrendous, and it was pretty bad in the previous video if you watched it here as well. It spreads like wildfire, and the condition is to isolate for 30 seconds everyone that has avian pox, and it's just it's difficult because you're like, oh, transfer, don't transfer, and like I transfer them, and it's like they got it over there. It's like, great, they were already full of it. So we're still making tons of money, and you can see all of our ratings are up to 100%. Our coverage is amazing. Shopping dropped a little bit. It's not the end of the world, and one could be configured. And you can see the ticket sales as well. And the appeal, we got 8,500, 188% of what the requirement was for this particular park. And so we hit the 5 stars. We really made it sustainable. We got the Suchiomimus in here, as well as the T-Rex. Gotta love Rexy. But with that, next time we're going to pick up with the Jurassic Park 3 Jurassic Challenge. It's not called Jurassic Park 3, but it is in the same setting. Can't remember the name of it. But anyways, we're going to pick that up next time. And we'll play through that one, and then we'll get to the Jurassic World, and then they added some extra tidbits as well. But thank you all for watching. If you guys like the content, please make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Dr. Munchkin, signing out.